In regard to the issues that is before us today, let us continue with never like the gentleman in the John Walker whom Keres is very fond of. This is best known to me. Ladies and gentlemen, on 7 February 2018, over 36 organizations gathered in Harare for the NTJWG consultative meeting, which followed the promulgation of the NPRC Act. And following intense deliberations, we adopted several resolutions. Among these resolutions was that Zimbabwe needs a transitional justice policy that transcends a single institution such as the NPRC. This was after a realization that most of the issues which the stakeholders seem to demand from the NPRC were never going to come out from a single organization. And if we were to achieve that, we needed a broader transitional justice policy. So these were the issues like transformation of institutions. And the questions we pondered upon was, if the national peace and reconciliation is important to our people, how do we make sure that it is the government's way of doing business? How do we become conscious of the need to heal the wounds? How were we going to raise those that would have fallen? How were we going to make sure that no one was left behind? How were we going to be alert to the language that fuels hate? How were we supposed to push for a people-centered economic policies that heal and not destroy? And how do we make sure that government programs itself in a manner that is compliant to the wounds of each people, and that its apparatus are not found to kill the wounded, but rather to restore those that would have been shredded by past conflicts? I personally pondered on the number of years that I have committed to representing innocent people who are victims of violence, that this terrible situation must be left behind us. Many stakeholders wondered if it is possible to influence our government that has since been implicated in human rights violations into a healing government that goes out of its way to seek its wounded. We thought of the 3 million Zimbabweans in the diaspora who yearn to return home and build their country, and wondered if it is possible to build a government that recognizes reconciliation as an important policy in its programs. We thought deeply of the 700,000 people who were displaced by Operation Mrambachina and asked ourselves, where are they today? Would it be possible to build a government that truly leave no victim behind? We thought about the generational lies told about Gukura Hundi and wondered, what if we would influence our government to be a government that truly believes in truth and goes out of its way to seek it? We thought of the many things going wrong in our generation and wondered if it is possible to stop the collapse of these values. It was on this 7 March 2018 reflection that made us realize that national healing is a deep issue, much deeper than any single program of government. It was then that we commenced a process to bring everyone for collective reflection. 9 months later, we found ourselves in the city of kings and queens, meeting many families that have experienced the worst forms of violence ever imagined. We spoke with church leaders that have been caring for victims of violence. We spent time with trauma healers who opened unto us the magnitude of trauma in our country. Through art of young people, Victory's Yangova Trust, we came face to face with the ugliness of Gukura Hundi. We listened to their voices. Our resolve to defeat the past of violence was strengthened in the last 3 days when we listened to the voices of survivors. We resolved even more strongly to say never again. The world over, echoes were heard from Amagugu village that it is time to say never again. The hashtag never again Zimbabwe conquered the world and energized the young generation to care for truth and justice. As we come to close the symposium, stakeholders have agreed that there is work to be done and it shall be done. We have understood the true meaning of transitional justice. It is the restoration of our dignity as a people, our Ubuntu, Unuwedu. Many civil society organizations have been on this program for a long time, and we want our government to be part of it. A transitional justice policy means we want values that say the wounded must be healed, and that is the government's way of doing business. The good work done by civil society over the years must be government policy, so that state resources are deployed for purposes of this important healing work. What that means in reality is that victims of past atrocities must be able to walk into government institutions and receive care and support that they need from the government. It means when a government speaks today, tomorrow it will hold its word sacred and believe in truth recovery and truth seeking. It means the government will be at the forefront of defending human rights. It means government institutions like the military and the police actually do protect life and not to destroy it. It means when our children meet a person dressed as a police officer, they feel safe because police are actually for the people and not against the people. This, in short, is the reality of what a transitional justice policy must deliver for Zimbabwe. A pathway to peace that not only says never again to violence, but actually builds our national architecture for compassion. We believe this is the movement we have launched through this symposium, a movement towards a caring nation. We will continue working with many partners towards transitional justice policy documents. We will be knocking at your doors to consult on whatever else makes this vision a reality. We would like to notify our leaders in government that we are on our way with the policy document. We hope our leadership will be open to this dialogue. We invite our parliamentarians to plug in, and we do this together. We invite our independent commissions to plug in and help us to see the policy document to fruition. To our development partners, you have been faithful. We thank you and encourage you to stick with us as we take this mission to a new level. To survivors who see no light today because this generation is blind, we beg you still to light the candle, because out of faith we know that the next generation will not be born blind. They truly see. Yes, if they find our lights burning. To everyone here today and those following online, we say today a new journey begins. And congratulations to you, because you have chosen to be part of it. The journey to say your voice, our voice, never again. I thank you.